Hello, Greg from Balloon Market here, and welcome to BMTV. Right, this week I'm really excited to say that we've got John Bowler here from BAPIA, the Balloon and Party Industry Alliance. John, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you, it's my pleasure.
Right, to start with, I think we want to talk about BAPIA.
Yep.
But before we do that, I think I'd like to find out a little bit more about you. It's not strictly the first time we've met, it's the second time we've met. The first time was 15 years ago when we were first considering getting into the industry. So I could blame you for us being in the industry. So thank you.
I'm glad it's a good thing.
But yeah, to start with, let's find out a little bit more about you. So can you tell us a little bit about your history, about how you got into the industry and how you got to where you are now?
I started in the industry, as many people do, working from home, and myself and my partner purchased some balloons and went out to sell them. We started by selling the balloons, the foils, at schools and events and fetes and fairs, moved on then into the decor market and built a successful decoration business.
Yeah.
Finding that we were travelling quite a long way to purchase our product, we decided that we would start to build some inventory at home and to create a local wholesaler. Over the years that developed and we moved into a wholesale unit, which after I think 3 years or so became too small, and then we moved on again.
Feel your pain there, feel your pain.
Indeed. It's the traditional route, I think.
Yeah.
But it became a very, very successful business.
Yeah.
And then times moved on from there. I enjoyed that. And it gave me a lot of history and a lot of understanding of the industry and the business and how it works and what's required.
So how did BAPIA come about? Because BAPIA is around 5 years old now?
5-6 years old now.
Yeah.
Having sold my share of the distributor, I went and worked for Qualitex, Pioneer Europe, for a few years, and while I was there I was actually asked to take a position on an industry association committee.
All right, yeah.
Which I did. I was there for a total of 8 years, and 3 of those I was chairman, which again I think we achieved some good stuff. Having left and stood down, done my time there, after a period of time there seemed to be some issues with that association, and a number of manufacturers were suggesting that a new industry body would be beneficial, and if so they would support it, and hence BAPIA was born.
Yeah.
It was nerve-wracking, first of all. It was a whole new venture, not something that I'd ever anticipated doing, but it appeared that the industry needed it and wanted it, and so I set it up. Again, like any business, there was a risk investment involved at the beginning, but I think well worth doing, and it's proving to be very successful.
Excellent. Well, let's talk a little bit more about BAPIA. Exactly what is BAPIA? For somebody that's not heard of BAPIA, what is BAPIA?
BAPIA is a trade organisation. We work in the same way as a trade association would do. We offer benefits to our members, and we're constantly trying to grow those benefits and increase them. We work on behalf of our members and the industry to produce a positive campaign for the industry and to fight any negativity as well, which is, as many people will know, there's been a lot of negativity in terms of the environment and helium, balloon releases, this sort of thing. So we work to try and campaign against that negativity and provide a positive side to the industry.
Yeah.
In terms of what we offer to our members, we are constantly trying to grow the benefits. One of the key benefits is that as a member you will automatically receive public and products liability insurance cover, employers liability insurance cover. You'll also receive legal insurance cover from us, which gives you many other benefits as well within that policy, because you'll get 24-hour legal and tax helpline.
Yeah.
So as many people in business start off, they're not fully conversant with the legal, the tax side and implications of what they're doing. So it supports them with that to ensure that they don't find themselves with problems with the taxman at a later stage. And if they do, then there are, within the policy, they're covered for support.
That's really good.
In regard to tax investigations as well.
Yeah, because we were talking about that actually a few episodes ago, and just talking about one of the benefits of being part of an association is generally having the insurance, because it can cost just as much to get the insurance on its own as it is become a member. So you might as well become a member.
Indeed,
So,
we did some research and it showed that it's almost impossible to get that kind of coverage for the same price.
Yeah.
But there are other benefits as well that we bring.
Yeah.
We produce a newsletter, regular newsletter for our members,
You've got
which
one of
is
those there,
informative.
haven't you?
I have.
Should we show one?
Yeah. That's the latest edition.
There we are.
That also shows on there that we are a member of EBPC, which is the European Balloon and Party Council.
Yeah.
And that is something that is designed for manufacturers, effectively. But what we do is that we can feed the information that comes from that committee back to our members and to the industry to ensure that we're all singing from the same hymn sheet, as it were.
Yeah.
There are also, we do run the Gosh Christmas Party Decor event every year, which is, it's a highly sought after event, and it's oversubscribed massively every time.
This is a great thing. Gosh is Great Ormond Street Hospital.
It is.
And tell everybody what it is.
I have no personal direct contact with Great Ormond Street Hospital, fortunately. I'm very grateful for that. But I know people who have.
Yeah.
And this was brought to us, the opportunity to do something for the hospital in terms that they have a Christmas party every year for all of the children. This is a party for the children. It's not a fundraiser. It's an event that the children go to and they have a good time.
Yeah.
And they deserve it. So we go in with a team of our members and we decorate the venue for them the day before. There are restrictions for us because with the children they're not allowed to have latex balloons there because of potential allergy issues.
Yeah.
So it's foil balloons and bubbles and this kind of thing only, which gives us its own problems. But as an industry we get through it and we produce some amazing decor. And I personally love it. I go along, I do the organisation. I don't really get involved in the decor. I leave that to the professionals because our sponsors will provide instructors for the class for the day. But I thoroughly enjoy being there and watching it and taking part in it. And I have been back and actually been to the parties as a helper to help out, just to see the response that it gets from the children. And I cannot tell you how good it is just to see them enjoying it.
I bet,
It's amazing.
The manufacturers sponsor it with products.
They do.
And then BAPIA members go there voluntarily.
Well, what we do is the BAPIA members, we open it up as a class and the BAPIA members will pay to attend.
All right, okay.
Now, all of the profit that comes from that goes to Great Ormond Street.
All right.
So we actually do, we don't promote it as a fundraising thing because the aim is to give the children a great party.
Yeah.
But this ensures, A, that it covers any costs that may be involved. It also ensures that delegates will turn up because if we do it for nothing, there is always the likelihood that we'll lose people. Yeah. But all of the profits will then go to Great Ormond Street Hospital. But yes, the manufacturers will support us with product and an instructor.
So it is a training session that's doing good,
very
effectively,
much so,
isn't it?
Very much so. And also, but it's an opportunity for the delegates to get involved in creativity, so they can, as much as there will be a plan for the day, if they say, well, I'm going to go and play with this, and they come up with another design, that's great, we love it. And if they come up with something new and different, we'll use it. Superb.
So when is that every year? Is that?
It's kind of middle of December.
Yeah.
I've got the date for this year. I think it's going to be the 12th of December this year. And then the parties take place on the 13th and 14th. So it gives us all day. The hotel donate the room for the day, or actually for 3 days. And it's a really fun and great. I really enjoy. I can't tell you how much I enjoy it.
So there you go. If you're going to become a BAPIA member, if you're not already, you can get involved in this and you can be doing good whilst learning something. So that's brilliant. I really loved that idea. And thinking about it now, I remember now. I don't know where I saw the photos. Maybe it was Facebook or something. But there was a big Santa sledge. Was that last year?
It was.
Oh, that was phenomenal.
Christopher Horn built that with his team, and that actually, once we'd finished the day, or all of the parties, it was so good that we took it down, and the team from Great Ormond Street they then moved it back to the hospital for the children that couldn't attend the parties, so that they could have something to brighten up the wards and the hospital in general. That was a superb piece of decorating. It really was.
So that's a great cause, John. Thanks for that. So you've been in the industry a while, it's fair to say, and the chief executive of an industry body. So what trends have you seen over the years? What things have changed over the years in the industry?
Significantly, the balloons have changed quite dramatically, really.
All right, okay.
In terms of on the foil side, we've seen great improvements in the quality of the foil and the seamless foils now, which make for a much more attractive looking balloon.
Yeah.
We've seen the introduction of things such as the bubbles from Qualitex, and then you've got the diamonds and the orbs and things from Amscan, which are all 25 years ago you would never have dreamed they would be possible. And it's taken the industry to a different level as well, because people are more interested in these balloons because they have a greater lifespan, a greater float time, which gives a greater perceived value for money, which I think is important as well. In general terms, the industry is becoming much more professional and much more accepted as a full-blown industry, rather than being a part-time pin money thing or balloons just for children's parties. We're seeing a huge rise in corporate decor, corporate events, celebrity events, this kind of thing. Balloons at weddings are now commonplace. They are used for everyday functions. So it's taking our industry forward, making us, giving us a bigger profile, to the degree now that retailing of balloons and party products is becoming the way forward. Whilst there is still a big market for balloons and party products on the internet, and there's some very, very successful companies there, because what we offer in many respects with the balloon decor isn't something you can always buy on the internet, there is a growth in retailing of balloons.
Oh, right, okay.
Which I think, again, is very, very good. It's very positive. It's good for the high streets in general. It's good for the industry. And it's good because I believe it makes us all appear more professional, which is part of what we aim to do at BAPIA.
Yeah, we have a lot of, talking of retail and retail customers, we've got a lot of retail customers, and some of them, they talk about how there's one or two large retail chains that sell cards and things like that, and they sell balloons as well, very, very, very cheaply.
Yeah.
But some of our customers are a few doors down from them, but they sell balloons more expensively. But they're not just selling the balloons, they're selling, as you say, a package, something that's far greater than just a few balloons. And people are starting, I think, to see the value in that, and these different designs, and paying for that investment of that knowledge, somebody putting that together in such a way that it gives a wow factor. And you don't get that when you go into a shop and pay £2.50 for a balloon. No. You get a balloon on a ribbon.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what you'll get. And I think people are beginning to see the value of a balloon that has been created, creation, rather than it just being a balloon. All the training that takes place within the industry, which I think is very important, educates people to upsell. And upsell in a way that is not just for making more profit, but it's about creating greater interest in the industry and greater interest in balloons. And where people will walk away and they'll remember that. They'll remember that design that they brought. It's no longer a balloon, it's a design, it's a creative design. In the same way that if you purchase some paint and a canvas, it's not the same as purchasing a picture, something that an artist has drawn and created. And that's what you're paying for. And people are beginning to understand that they want to pay for that. They want to pay for something that they take home, and that whoever they're going to give this to, their jaw drops and they say, wow, and they remember it for a long time to come. It's not just a balloon. There's far more to it than that. And that's what I think the professionals within our industry strive to achieve, and that's what we aim to help them to do.
What part of the industry do you see training playing, or do you see training being a big part of the industry? Is it essential?
I think it's very important. I do. First thing that I did before we did any decor was go on to a training course. And I truly believe that training course started me properly in the balloon industry.
Yeah.
People can muddle by. You can always try and find a way to do things, but if you learn the right way to do it, then that's key. It's a key building block of your business. So yes, I absolutely believe in training.
Yeah.
I believe in continued training as well, because as the industry develops, so do techniques, ideas, creativity, and that allows you then to grow your business and to introduce new things. And people are, there are designers out there who are constantly playing with balloons and working on new designs or building new stuff. And unless you keep up with those trends and find out how it's done, then you will fall behind. And I think it's very, very important that training continues to take place, that it's well-supported training and it's given by well-trained educators.
Yeah.
I think that's critical. I also think that apart from the design side of it and the creativity side of it, business training is critical.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are so many people who don't really know how to run their business, don't know how to get business, that they need some kind of education. And that's not, I'm not being critical of them. I needed the same thing, and I think we all do. We're not born understanding how to do our taxes or to do cold calling or how to generate business. So I think that's very important. And again, that's something that we're focusing on. We obviously support our trainers, but we're now focusing as well on offering some webinars to our members and to non-members, which will be 45 minutes to an hour, because I believe you lose concentration after that time. But they're going to be business-focused webinars. So it may be something, again, such as cold calling. How do you make successful cold calls? Social media, again, a huge, huge part of any business these days. But without some training or a lot of time spent trying to understand it, you're not going to get the most out of it. So we're trying to build training sessions as webinars for people that would help them understand this and help them to grow their business.
That's brilliant, because we're trying to do something similar with BMTV Business, because we understand. I read a book a few years ago. It's called The E-Myth. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I've seen it, yes.
It's basically saying you might be really, really good at what you do. So imagine you're a baker, and you're a really, really good baker, and you've baked for years. You've been 20 years being a baker, and then one day you decide, okay, I'm going to have my own bakery. And then you go and you realise you don't actually know anything about the business of baking. You know how to bake. And that's what the E-Myth tries to get over. So you might be the best balloon decorator in the industry, but running the business it's a different set of skills, isn't it? And so it's working sort of on the business rather than in doing the business. So I think that's brilliant. That's fantastic. So you're doing live webinars. That's
the aim, is that there'll be live webinars, but some of them we will make available after the fact, if you like, so that people can download them or watch them. But I at BAPIA we aim to support our members and the industry as a whole, but I really want to see it become a fully fledged professional industry that people recognise. Such as anything else, builders, accountants.
It's much bigger in the States, isn't it? Balloons have been around for so long in the States. It's been a big, it is considered a much more serious industry, I guess.
It is,
in the States.
Yes.
But I feel we're getting there.
Oh, absolutely. I completely agree with you. Completely agree.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of growth, I think, in the UK and in Europe. But that's not to say that we haven't moved on a long, long way, and that we are now very serious and very professional at what we do.
Yeah.
But I think the public perception in many respects is that balloons have little value, and that's what we need to change. And it has changed dramatically over the years. And we aim to continue to make that change, and for everybody to see the value of the balloons and what we create as an industry.
So speaking of the industry there, what challenges do you see facing the industry at the moment?
I think the biggest challenge that we have right now are environmental campaigns, with people trying to ban balloon releases. I think that's a fight that we need to fight strongly, but we need to be careful and we need to consider what we do. We have a code of practice in place for people doing balloon releases, as does the European Balloon and Party Council, and we strongly ask all of our members to adhere to that code of practice. because we need to protect our industry. We need to protect what we've achieved and not let it be brought down by environmental campaigns who will use various arguments, mostly those that will tug at people's heartstrings, to have balloons banned in many ways. And we're seeing that happen, and we need to be very careful about what we do, and we need to push hard to ensure that we protect our industry.
I think that's interesting because we've actually decided to take the stance not to offer balloon releases, not to sell the products you need to do a balloon release, because I mean we have sold that stuff in the past, and it's just recently that we've decided that we feel a little bit uncomfortable about balloon releases and the environmental impacts. The main one for me being litter. So I think the industry. I think it's great that the industry has those sort of guidelines. But I wanted to take it that step further, and maybe that will happen in the future in the industry.
Maybe, and we would support you in what you've done, and you know I think that's a good move for you. At the moment, the industry as a whole is not prepared to go that route. Yeah. And whilst that's the case, then we need to take action to ensure that we prevent any more arguments and to put a very positive spin, positive side on the industry. Yeah. But I think we need to be aware of what's going on out there, and that people are campaigning against balloons and the impact that's having overall, because we are seeing some UK councils who are not just preventing or banning balloon releases from their property, they're actually going to the extent of saying they'll have no helium balloons on their property, which then becomes the bigger picture and the bigger impact it's having on everybody. Yeah. We've seen recently in California that they've actually tried to ban balloons altogether, and that would be a huge problem for any of us. Yeah. So it's in all of our interests that we protect what we've got, and that we look after the environment, and we do our very best to ensure that we don't give further cause to the environmentalists to be able to call for balloon bans. And there was a report done on behalf of, I think it's the Welsh Government and DEFRA, a while ago, which came out quite positively for the balloons. But I think it's only a matter of time before we see that change. Yeah, I think from an environmental point of view, I think anything we can do is good. I mean, that DEFRA report, it was comparing balloons to like plastic bags, for instance. And obviously the government have stepped in and done something about plastic bags. You've got to pay for them now in supermarkets. So I think it's heading that way. And I think, in my personal opinion, is in a few years, balloon releases probably they just won't be as popular. I think there's going to be less demand for them. So what do you see the future holding for the balloon and party industry, John? I think there are a few things that we'll see change in the future. I think we'll see development of balloons in numerous ways, potentially latex-free balloons. There are obviously some issues with latex allergies, and I know manufacturers are working hard to deal with that.
So manufacturers are working to get a sort of stretchy rubber type balloon that's not latex?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because that would be interesting.
It would be, yeah. And I can only imagine that for the future that there will be some development of a latex-free balloon. Yeah. But I've no inside knowledge on that.
That'll be interesting.
That's just my guess. I also suspect there will be some development of a replacement for helium as well as time goes on. Again, I don't have any knowledge of it, but it would seem to be a logical progression. Yeah. That'll be the key thing, will be development of the products that we use, and it'll be interesting to see where they go. We've seen over the years development of the bubbles and the orbs. You know, we always used to think of balloons being as a two-sided object, of the foil balloons particularly, whereas now they're a fully three-dimensional balloon, and they're fantastic. They're superb. And the qualities and the colours of the latex balloons as well, and you know what we can achieve with those and the manufacturing of those, again, it's incredible. And as much as we may think, oh no, we can't go any further than this, every time we think that, they bring something else out which is equally stunning. So I'm feeling very positive that there's a lot of development to come, and I'm interested to see it happen.
Okay, fantastic. All right, John, I'm going to ask you a few personal questions. I've got some more down here as well, actually. John's no idea what I'm going to ask him here. So, some of them you might have heard if you've watched any of the others, but ultimate dinner party, who would you invite?
Oh dear, ultimate dinner party.
It can be living or dead.
My wife,
Okay.
first of all.
Good call.
Probably, now this may be an interesting one, Tony Benn.
Okay.
Tony Benn was somebody that always interested me. I always felt that he was very honest, truthful, clear, and
Wasn't he a politician?
he was, yes.
Oh,
which is why I liked him, because I thought he was very. He knew his topic as well.
Yeah.
He wasn't spouting ideals or putting spin on it. He would say it as he was, and that I liked.
Yeah.
So I think I'd like to have him included. Who else? Richard Gere probably.
oh really?
Yeah, just for the glamour aspect of it. I think he was a good actor. He still is a good actor, and somebody that I thought was great.
You can have an intimate one, just the four of you. you, I, Tony Benn and Richard Gere.
Yeah, that'll do. That'll do.
All right, what three, if you're on a desert island, three non-essential things would you want to have?
An iPod, probably a Kindle as well, so I've got stuff to read.
Okay.
That would be good. And I suppose on that basis I'd need to have some internet access as well.
That's true. Yeah, internet access.
So,
that's what you need. All right, now we're going to do a few quick. Actually, now a little bird has told me that you like to bake.
It's a recent thing, so
Okay.
there's no fear of me being on Bake Off.
Okay.
I do. I have a very sweet tooth,
Yeah.
and I quite enjoy baking. Nothing intricate.
Your tray bakes apparently go down very well in a particular office that I know you visit.
Yeah, I know who you've been talking to. So yeah, I do enjoy a bit of baking.
Well, my question for you was going to be, what was it? Bake Off or Big Brother?
Bake Off without a shadow of doubt. But you wouldn't catch me watching Big Brother.
No, I know. Nasty Nick. I watched the first series. Nasty Nick was in that. How many years ago was that?
Yeah, I
a long time
concede to
ago,
watching it first of all.
Yeah.
But then I'm not great into reality TV programs.
No.
But, there are very few that I will watch.
Yeah, I'm the same. All right, a few other quick fire ones. Dog or cat?
Dog.
Books or films?
Films probably.
Okay. Active or relaxing holiday?
Active.
Okay. Facebook or Twitter?
Facebook.
Ooh, one last one. Beer or wine?
Beer.
Okay. John, thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I've really enjoyed it.
It's been my pleasure.
And hopefully we'll see you again at some point in the future. Who knows?
I'd love to come back. It's been very good. Thank you very much, Greg.
That's it from us this week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And see you next week. Bye.
As you can see, they're little spheres. And then you just get your fingernails in between and split that open. And then you've got a little tab there that says pull. You just pull that. And then the little LED light goes on, pop that back on top there, and there you go, there you have it. It's a sort of slow flash. So you can imagine if you've got multiple balloons, then they'd all be flashing at different times. So that'll just be a lovely effect around the room if you've decorated a whole room. Now the next thing, this is going to be the next big thing. Now we're told that all the time. Salesmen come in and say, oh, this is going to be the next big thing. Oh yeah, you want to get that? Oh, this is going to be awesome. And you're like, yeah, okay, whatever. This really is going to be the next big thing.